I believe it has been about a year where I went ahead and declared that the mortgage industry and the real estate industry was in a depression, right? We had seen transactions fall 40%. I now believe they're going to fall another 10 to 20%. We are in a depression. We are bottoming out. It's not going to be a V-shaped or U-shaped recovery. We're going to be here for a while. But what does that mean to the people in the business? We have heard from National Association of Realtors that agents are leaving aplenty. But what about mortgage? What's going on in the mortgage industry? We've got the one and only Matt, the mortgage guy, here to tell us what is going on with the mortgage industry, what is going on with loan agents and brokers and all that good stuff. So what do you got for us?
Thanks for having me, Mike. This was an interesting stat that got shared a lot by loan professionals. And, to your credit, you said, Matt, it's a good thing. And when you think about it, I agree. If you're going to be making the largest purchase of your life, you want the loan originators that are the best of the best, and not just in the business because it's 2020 or 21. It's frothy. And really, anybody who got their license could muster up some business because, terms on loans were so good then. There were so many refinances. So the stats, which are pretty interesting to look at, define an active loan officer by a loan officer who has closed at least one loan.
Oh, that's a high bar, Matt. One loan.
Yeah. One loan in a calendar year. If I were to do that, I would be interested too. I don't know where this data came from, but I'd love to see, if you click that up to 10 or even 20, right? Because really, if you're active and you're doing it full time, a couple loans a month, 20, 25 should probably be the bar. If you're closing 6 a year, I would argue you're not really doing it full time, but
yeah, I would agree.
Nonetheless, if you look at loan originators who closed at least one deal in 2019, the number was 133,000 and change.
Ooh, okay.
2020, 160,000 and change. 2021, 179,000.
Oh,
so almost 180,000 loan originators active and, closed at least a loan. I guess it takes a while for this attrition to take place, but what would you guess 2022?
Well, so 2022, the market really turned at the summer. So you still had about 6 months of goodness. I'm going to go 150.
You're pretty damn good, Mike. The number is 150. It's 150, 114. Yeah, so you nailed it. This one's going to be tougher though. But who knows? You're pretty good. 2023, what do you think the number is there?
So again, we haven't finished the year. The year started horrible. January, February, March, got a little bit better. April, May, June.
And this is actually through 2 quarters.
Okay, so only 2 quarters. Okay, half the year.
Yeah. So and then there's a new number for what they project by the end of the year.
All right, so Q1 was horrible. Q2 was better, but not great. We come off 150. 87,000.
99.9.
Ah, damn
it. There's some people hanging on, Mike. They're calling trigger leads. They're trying coaching. They're doing whatever they can to try to hang on. The estimate by the end of the year is that we're going to go below 80,000.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I don't know if I'm sure you've seen it, but I actually watched The Big Short 3 days ago. And, have you seen the movie 10 times and having invested through that? Because I was in the thick of it. I thought the people that stood out to me were those loan brokers, the people doing the CDOs and the people bragging about, no docs and all of that craziness. I don't know that 2022 was that bad, or 2021, I guess, with 179,000. But I just remember thinking anybody with a license could do anything. So there were a lot of mortgage brokers in 04, 05, 06 that were dishonest, that were putting people in toxic products that blew up. And, obviously the toxic products didn't exist this time. There's all kinds of legislation changes, but I got to tell you, I'm happy to see that we're going to be less than 80,000. because I don't think that there's that many great loan brokers. I
I
think it's
agree.
a market that attracts fly by night, quick talkers, people who talk a big game. And just like those two jokers, that were selling used cars or whatever, they were, what did the one guy say? He was a bartender, but he bought a boat or something. I'm like, God, this is the kind of stuff that gets attracted. So
I heard that The Big Short was like trending over the
it
last
did
week.
on Netflix. It's what popped in my view. It's the number three. It's like, man, it's been a while. I got to watch it again. So yeah, the loan brokers they were just, it was easy money back then. And I'm not
Right.
trying to say it was easy money in 21, 22, but with all the refis going on, it wasn't hard.
It
It
was
was
easy
nothing
money,
like
Mike.
05, it wasn't like 06 though. It wasn't nothing like that.
Right,
Um,
right. But still it was frothy, to say the least. And yeah, to your point, the ones that will survive are the best of the best. They run a good business,
yeah.
and so it's a good thing for consumers. It's tough for the ones that are losing jobs. It's tough for the
Yeah,
companies that are
I
shrinking.
don't know. I mean, you're down 40% in transactions. Refis are down 70 or 80%. I don't even know the number. It's bad, right? As it should be. Um, but if we go from 179,000 to sub 80,000, the good ones that are left. So here's the problem. Everybody wants this up down stuff. But if I'm right about the Fed breaking housing, we're going to have basically a sideways market for years. And a sideways market is not an easy market. It's not going to be high growth, but it'll pay the bills. And then the people that survive that will be set up for the next wave. Because if you learned anything by studying economics, the downside is 2 or 3 years and the upside's 10 to 12. So I'm excited. You know what? You know what's really funny to me? Because I look at the stats all the time. The mortgage business has taken a hit much, much faster than real estate agents. I think real estate agents are down like 10 to 12%, licensees. And I have to imagine the same number, right? Like how many agents do one deal a year? You can't live on one deal a year.
Well, yeah,
So
that's the stat that people really need to, like. I would love to see it, like a living wage. And so you can say X number of real estate transactions would be a living wage, and that would be called active real estate
yeah,
agent who's earning their money through real estate, not just hanging a license. They're a
yeah,
full-time attorney and they can do a deal every 3 years if they want. Because those numbers, Mike, I'm telling you, are down. I know
they
real
have
estate
to be.
agents that have done dozens of transactions in past years and are doing very few in
Yeah.
2023. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You know what? I think the 80,000 will be the bottom. I mean, going back through your numbers, right? Peaking at 179, call it 180. I think, I think, I think you find the bottom this year, which is again good, right? The bloodletting is stopped. You kind of can keep the team together. You can invest. You can grow. Um, yeah, so I'm actually encouraged by numbers. I'm glad it fell that fast, frankly, because what I really hate is the slow, just constant drips and drabs.
Yeah.
Crashing at 50% is probably a good thing.
Something I brought up years ago, and I can't remember who I talked to about this, but I thought there would be a trend, and I thought it was good for the consumer for less loan originators to do more deals. Because
Yeah.
as you get more knowledgeable, more efficient, you build a team that's able to serve clients at a high level, you just squeeze out somebody who's doing it very part-time with very little knowledge, with very little value, 5 or 6 deals a year. And truth be told, I feel bad for some people that are struggling, but I don't feel bad for somebody who wants to get as much as they can get with very little effort and very little, care or value to the end consumer. And so, yeah, maybe there's some natural shrinking, because with all the technology, I can close 30 loans a month, 40 loans a month, and
Right.
high tech, high touch, still give great client experience.
Right.
And, somebody working with a very efficient outfit with knowledgeable mortgage professionals, they're way better off than some guy that's like, yeah, the last one I closed was in May, but I think I still remember how to submit a loan.
I think
Like,
I remember my password. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, if somebody wanted to reach out to you and your team to see what's what, how would they do that?
Go to greatmortgagebroker.com, fill out that form. We will be in touch. Trust me, we'll still be in business in 2024. Greatmortgagebroker.com.
I agree with you. I'll take that bet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a
Thanks.
good bet.